Hello friends, and welcome back to Tales from the Concrete Floor. My name is Chris, your resident talking head, and tonight we are talking about my number one favorite album of 2025. I listened to a lot of new music this year, but this album really stood out to me. You already know what it is if you looked at the title of the episode, so it's not a surprise. But before I get to that album, I would like to do a strong second. My honorary runner-up, if you will. This album needs to be put out there. You should be listening to this album if you are a heavy music fan. And not just a heavy music fan, but if you're more into kind of the progressive, say, Tool-style music. This band out of Finland called Wheel. This album is fantastic. I loved this album from beginning to end. Charismatic leaders. Very good album. As I said, these guys are out of Finland. I believe this is their third full-length album. I very much enjoyed their other two albums as well, but I will say that this to date is definitely my favorite. I'm gonna have to say my favorite track on here is Saboteur. Very heavy, very cool. The vocal style on here is clean. It's definitely not screaming metal, anything like that. Very clean vocal style. And the music, this is three people in this band, kind of like Rush. You have a hard time believing that three people can put out so much sound and be so technical with it, but Wheel does it. Presentation of the album is awesome. I love the artwork. Moving inside to where you have all the lyrics for the songs as well. I'm always a big fan of gatefold albums. Really kind of makes you feel like you're getting what you paid for when you get a nice album and presentation on here. Album sounds incredible. Get out to your local music store. Support brick and mortar stores. Support good music and buy yourself this vinyl. As I said, this was my runner-up. Honorable mention. Had to do it. Wheel. Charismatic leaders. Now, as a fan of this band for the past 13 years, myself, and I'm sure a lot of you, if you're watching this video, were asking the question, is it going to ever happen? Well, we found out this year, and the answer is yes, with the return of Mike Portnoy. This was meant to be, and this is nothing to take away from Mike Mangini, who stepped into those shoes for the past decade. Fantastic technical drummer, definitely could fill the shoes to a degree. As I said, the technical aspect was always there. Phenomenal drummer, the aspects were always there, but there's something about that chemistry between Petrucci and Portnoy that is just undeniable. It's a soul. It's kind of the difference between a 1980s Harley shovelhead or a modern day Harley. There's a big difference. They're both awesome motorcycles. They both are very cool, but there's something about the soul of the 80s that is needed on those bikes. And that is much like the music of my album of the year, Parasomnia by Dream Theater. This album is a masterpiece. My all-time favorite Dream Theater album now. This is the album that I have been waiting for Dream Theater to put out for years. I remember hearing Dream Theater for the first time, like most everyone. Probably it was either on Headbangers Ball or your local heavy metal radio station when Pull Me Under came out. And I remember hearing that song saying, this is one of the greatest new music songs I have heard in a long time. But for me, honestly, after picking up that album and hearing Pull Me Under, the rest of the album kind of fell a little short for me. I understood that the music technically was incredible, but you have such a heavy song like Pull Me Under, and then the rest of the songs go to a little bit lighter, kind of mystic tone, and really go all over the place. So for me, I have always been a Dream Theater fan, but some of their albums are a little bit hit or miss for me. This album here is the complete package and is absolutely hands down my album of 2025. Favorite tracks on here are definitely Night Terror. That it's probably one of the heaviest songs that I think Dream Theater has ever put out. It is absolutely incredible from beginning to end. It's around a 9-minute song. Just so many time signature changes, that amazing guitar solos from John Petrucci, and then of course the backbone Portnoy coming in. And I like that they've pulled back James on the vocals just a little bit. He, while he is an incredible vocalist, I like how they've done this on this album, where the music is so much more out there than the vocals are, and I really feel that the mixing on this album was spectacular. Second favorite track on here is going to be Are We Dreaming? Now, this is a song that really actually has James shine on vocally, but once again, the mixing on this album really just gives it this tone that to me is absolutely perfect. And then of course the last song on here, the Shadow Man Incident. This is a 20-minute song on here, and it is absolutely phenomenal from beginning to end. It takes you through so many different paces, and you really, to me, it's kind of how Stairway to Heaven leads you on a journey. It's the same with this song. You start here, but you end here. And it is, as I said, for a 20-minute song, even if you have a little bit of attention deficit disorder, you're still going to love this song and you're going to hang all the way through it. Once again, the album itself is just a beautiful piece of art here. As always, Dream Theater never cheapens out on their albums and their artwork. Love everything about it. Gatefold. Inside, too, I was really impressed. You get a very nice booklet in here as well. Kind of going over lyrics and then pictures of the band and such. It's very cool in there. Really happy with that presentation as well. The album itself sounds incredible. As I said, speaking on the mixing of the album, fantastic. I listen to these on, I have studio reference headphones that I'll plug into my receiver, and you can hear every instrument shine on this album. You know, I've said it and I'll say it again. I said it earlier, but I mean it. Like, it's okay if you want to listen to this album for the first time, maybe on Spotify or your Apple Tunes or whatever, but supporting brick and mortar record stores is the way to go. Physical media, a physical copy of this album. This is what's going to keep music alive. This is what's going to keep younger generations, you know, riding their bikes or their skateboards to the local record store to thumb through records and to find new music that speaks to them. That was such a huge part of my childhood. It is still a huge part of me as an adult. Going to the record store is one of my favorite things to do. Flipping through albums, looking at different artwork, looking at bands that I know, looking at bands that I don't know. And sometimes, I mean, just as like I was when I was a kid, you can pick up an album and the album artwork and the presentation alone makes you want to hear what the music sounds like in that album. So please, I beg of you, don't spend the money on Amazon. Don't just listen to it on Spotify. Get yourself a physical copy of the new Dream Theater. You will not be disappointed. With that all being said, to everyone out there, I hope you had an amazing 2025. Mine was pretty good. I'm looking forward to growing this channel very much so in 2026. The videos will only get better. This is like my third or fourth video. So, and I just throw this stuff out to the wind. I don't write a script. I don't think about it. I pick up what I want to talk about and I go. So, you know, if you're enjoying the content, awesome. awesome. Please subscribe. Definitely leave comments. Let me know what you're thinking about either the episode, the albums that I'm talking about. Leave what your favorite album of 2025 was down in the comments, and that way I can go check that out myself. Roll into my local record store and pick it up for myself and maybe do a review on it as well. So as always, most important things, think for yourself, question authority, and always, my friends, in the times that we live in, be kind to one another. Until the next episode, have a fantastic holiday weekend.